Before the mid-19th century, Hong Kong was little more than a rocky island on the edge of the South China Sea, barren land inhabited by a few hundred fishermen and farmers. No gold, no resources, no political weight. Yet its location was a geographical treasure, a crossroads between India, China, and Southeast Asia. With that position alone, it was waiting for the spark that would change its destiny forever. By the 1830s, Great Britain was the world's leading trading power. From Manchester's factories to London's docks, British goods filled global markets. But China, with its closed empire and immense wealth, was the exception. China bought almost nothing from Europe, exporting only tea, silk, and porcelain, and demanding payment in silver. This imbalance drained Britain's treasury and infuriated London's merchants and financiers. Britain searched for a product the Chinese would buy. The answer came from British India: opium. The East India Company began smuggling the drug into China through local traders and private ships. Within years, addiction became a national epidemic. Millions of Chinese fell captive to the drug, while silver flowed from Beijing to Britain's coffers. When imperial official Lin Zexu tried to end the crisis, confrontation became inevitable. In 1839, China ordered the confiscation and destruction of thousands of chests of opium in Canton. Britain retaliated, sending a massive fleet to defend its right to trade. Thus began the First Opium War, an uneven struggle between a traditional empire and an industrial navy. British cannons crushed China's ports. Cities fell one after another, and after 3 years of war, China surrendered. In 1842, the Treaty of Nanking was signed, the first of the so-called unequal treaties. China paid heavy indemnities and opened 5 ports to foreign trade, but the most fateful clause ceded Hong Kong Island to Britain in perpetuity. In an instant, the forgotten island became an official British colony. Britain needed a secure port for its commerce, a base to store, ship, and manage the opium trade. Thus, Hong Kong was born. From its earliest years, Hong Kong became a laboratory of capitalism in Asia, a free port with almost no taxes and few restrictions. Merchants, adventurers, and smugglers all found opportunity here. Ships from India, Britain, America, and China crowded its harbor. Behind them, British banks and trading houses built their financial and political power. Within decades, stone buildings rose, and the port turned into a city buzzing with gold, silver, and gamblers. By the early 20th century, Hong Kong began to change. Opium declined under growing international pressure, but the city reinvented itself as a banking and trade hub. British firms made it the gateway to investment in Asia, while refugees fleeing turmoil in China brought capital and talent. The once small colony evolved into a vibrant financial heart where European banks mingled with Chinese merchants and global investors. After World War II, Asia's political map was redrawn. Empires fell, nations rose, but Hong Kong endured. It welcomed waves of refugees from mainland China after the 1949 Communist Revolution and became a thriving industrial center exporting textiles and electronics. By the 1970s and 80s, it was known as the Little Dragon, a model of the Asian economic miracle. Amid skyscrapers and a bustling harbor, the city almost forgot it had been born from a drug war. On July 1, 1997, Britain returned Hong Kong to China after more than 155 years of colonial rule. The handover came under a unique agreement: one country, two systems. China regained sovereignty, but Hong Kong kept its free economy and independent legal system. It was a political experiment unlike any other, one that preserved the city's core identity: freedom of trade and finance. Today, Hong Kong stands among the world's leading financial centers, home to hundreds of international banks and one of Asia's largest stock markets. It remains a symbol of capitalism at the doorstep of communist China. From a port built on the trade of death to a global hub of money and influence, Hong Kong's journey spans 2 centuries of transformation. From the British Empire to the Chinese economy, from narcotics to financial power. Behind the glitter of skyscrapers, the shadow of opium still lingers. A port born of greed became a symbol of human resilience and success. In Hong Kong's story, money and morality, empires and markets intertwine. A reminder that wealth always comes at a price, and history is never erased, only rewritten.